So the plan today is we're going to be working on some dog kennels for a local veterinarian. The doors on these things, this one I've kind of rigged up already, but the doors on these end up not hitting quite nice enough, so they sag quite a bit. Unfortunately, the design of these is not great, so you can see right here I had to shim out the hinge, or adjust the hinge out quite a bit to get the locking mechanism to operate smoothly. So it doesn't even line up with a bolt hole anymore, unfortunately. So instead of just drilling it and retapping everything, I'm just going to lay a couple tacks down on it and call it good enough. They weren't too concerned about how it looked. They just wanted to function correctly, be able to make it like a one-handed operation, right? Instead of having to finagle with two hands when they're putting a animal in there, they can just slam the door and it'll slam close as they walk away. I mocked up this hinge already, and I think I'm just gonna lay some tacks. I got my wire switched over. I'm just using regular MIG gas, even though this is stainless steel. It should weld fine, have the right shielding gas, so it'll be an off color or a gray color more than likely, but I'm using stainless steel wire, 308L on stainless steel dog kennels. I'm not sure what grade those are. I could look them up if I really needed to, but I've welded on these before with this wire and they've been fine. So we'll just do that. I may have to clean this. It doesn't look like it's super clean, but I'm gonna try to weld it first, and if it doesn't weld good, I'll grind it out and clean it again. I did a review on this. You have to check it out. Pretty awesome tool. A little bit heavy, but works great. Let's see how this goes. This metal's roughly 20 gauge, so I got it set to E4 on my welder. I'm not sure exactly where I'm gonna tack it. Put two pretty heavy-duty tacks on it. We have to turn the welding gas on. Came out alright. Came out alright. The first one didn't have welding gas, so I'm gonna have to grind that out real quick and redo it. My air compressor on. All right, let's make sure it still opens good. Yep. Works good. Issue with these dog kennels is the bracing for the bottom of them was just stuck on there with double-sided tape. So I'm going to tack them in. So they do what they're supposed to be doing. The animals lay in here and they actually push the bottom and wreck the bottom of this. So I'm just gonna put two tacks in it. It's not gonna be anything big. That way they're a little more sturdy. And if they ever need to pull them apart for whatever reason, can do it. So yeah, this is a dumb design. I don't understand it. Alrighty. Let's get that one going. Yeah. What do you think it looks like on the inside of that? deal. I probably don't even need to weld there. I like it. All right, I'm going to sand the inside of this a tad. Have some marks down in there, so that's not good. I'm done with the first one, so now I am going to get the other one onto my makeshift workbench here. I don't really have a good workbench on the outside of my little shop, so I'm using this plywood box I had built for another project, and we'll get started on this one. Same procedure. I got to reinforce or retack the door, rehang the door. Same thing with this one. The door's just sagged. Can't close it, right? And there's not enough adjustment in the hinges to take that sag out. So what I end up having to do is take this bolt out and move that hinge way out. And then it doesn't let me put the bolt hole back in, so or the bolt back in. But no biggie. So I'll rehang this door for the most part. Yeah. Whoa. Isn't there good? Clean this up before I get going. This one's still jacked up. So here I'm just working these doors, working the hinges and adjusting little by little. If it doesn't hit the right side of the hinge or the locking mechanism correctly, I continue to go back and forth adjusting both the hinge side and the locking mechanism side to make sure. Got the clearance, the door just a tad, because I have to have the hinge where it's at. I got these carbide bits off Amazon. They seem to be fairly decent, a little small, but they work pretty good. So I'm using a pointy one on this one. So I want to take a minimal amount of material out of this door area. Just enough so the door can pass by the screw. There's a screw in the back side here that is causing some issues. More up the top here. That took off a ton of material really fast. Got it. Alrighty. I'm gonna do some welding now. So once again here I'm using my Hercules die grinder to clean up the hinges so I can get a good weld penetration. Now we start tacking these door hinges to make them a lot more secure and they won't lose their angle of the dangle, for lack of a better term. I want them to be pretty solid. I don't want the doors to sag again, so we're going to put some good tacks in here so that won't happen and make the client happy. I got a little weld spatter here that was making it so the door wouldn't fully open, so I'm using this little right angle die grinder I got from Lowe's a billion years ago to clean up this hinge and clean up the weld and make it look all nice and smooth. And that's another one done, so we'll drop this one onto the trailer and we'll get the last one and we'll work on that, and then we'll be done with this project. So I used a ton of tools on this job, even though it was a fairly simple job and I made a little bit of money. It was worth it in the end, but the amount of tools you need to get a job like this done. I used clamps, I used a MIG welder, gloves, screwdrivers, grinding bits, wire wheels, multiple grinders, a die grinder, a right angle die grinder. What else? Extension cords, stainless steel MIG wire. So in order to do jobs like this, you really need a lot of tools, but having those tools allows you to take these jobs and make some money if that's what you're trying to do. Just this little side job, 3 kennels, rehung all the doors, re-welded some brackets in the bottom, and they are going back to the vet clinic. So we'll see if I have to get them installed in there. Hopefully I can just drop them off and drive away, because installing them is going to be a pain in the butt. But fairly easy. Like I said earlier, I welded that with just regular MIG gas, but I used stainless steel wire with it. Just cleaned everything real good and it all came out fine. Let's see if I can see some of the welds. Yeah, so this is what. Oh, it doesn't have a weld. Yeah, came out pretty decent, I think, so I'm happy with it. Just cleaned them up real good and they came out fine. Anyways, that's it for today.